Good morning. Today is day 16, or week 16, I should actually say. My goodness, we're coming on to 4 months. 4 months that I've been doing these lives. Who's getting something out of it? I know I personally am. And I'm running out of topics. But today I wanted to speak about our own perspective of ourself. Now I know I've spoken about self-image before, but this is a little bit different. I want to speak about the perspective of creator or victim. You know, everybody that's on the spiritual journey knows in here that they're a creator. And if anyone had asked me even 6 years ago, was I a creator or a victim? I would have said, I'm a creator. Of course I am. But is your life showing this? You know, this comes back to the integrity between our two minds, our conscious and our subconscious, and the integrity between our thoughts and our actions. Now, we can have a thought in our conscious mind, but it's the subconscious mind that's running the show, that's behind our frequency and our action. So if we are saying we're a creator, but we're acting or speaking like a victim, then we're out of alignment. We've got chaotic frequency inside of us, and we've got chaotic outside world because the frequency within us creates the outside. We've also got mixed thoughts going on inside, and that's what's causing the chaotic frequency. And this is where our guidance system comes in. You know, every time we are feeling uncomfortable in ourselves, it's because we've stepped out of alignment with our truth. And when I say truth, that's kind of a grey subject, because we've got the truth of our soul and we've got the truth of our subconscious mind. So if we are believing we're a creator, but something happens in our outside world and we feel like a victim, that's telling us that our thoughts are out of alignment, that we're acting differently than what we're saying. But also, if you genuinely believed you're a victim, that will feel bad because it's out of alignment with your truth, what soul knows that you're actually a creator. Does that make sense? Now, if we believe we are a creator consciously, and in some areas of our life we are the creator, we are living as a creator, but there are other areas of our life where we make ourselves victim, then that victim frequency is carrying itself through the whole atmosphere of who we are. It's not just attached to a tiny little corner and one subject. Do you see? Like, who we are is what becomes our world. So, you know, if we've got creatorship around making a cake, for instance, or, you know, driving the car, things that we absolutely know that we're in control of. But when it comes to another subject like money or relationships, we make ourselves the victim. then that victim is bleeding through, and maybe when we make our next cake, it's a flop. And we start blaming the ingredients, or we blame the oven, or we blame something else. And instead of looking at the cake that was the flop and saying, okay, what in me has created this? We turn around and blame something in our external world. Now, if we truly know that we're the creator, that means everything, absolutely everything in the outside world is caused by our inner. And people can argue against this. They can say, oh no, like, especially with what's been going on in the world in the last 2 years. But we can look at what's going on in the world and it cannot affect us, or it can. And as soon as we allow it to affect us, we become victim. And if we allow it to affect us in any way, then that is going to affect every area of our life, because it's affected our frequency. So how we do one thing is how we do everything. We can't be a victim here and a creator there. We can't be both. We're one or the other. And when we really decide that we're a victim, we're a victim. When we decide we're a creator, we have to take responsibility for everything in our life. Everything that we are feeling uncomfortable about, everything that we are responding or reacting to, we've played a role in the creation of it. Now, perspective comes in here too. You know, victim and creator is a perspective. It's also, you know, part of the self-image. And I actually believe that self-image is really the foundation of our whole paradigm, our whole conditioning, because how we see ourselves affects how we perceive everything else in our world. And it's behind the conditioning, the beliefs that we've been grounded in. You know, if we've got a poor image of ourselves, we're not lovable or we're not good enough, you know, when something happens, we're going to see it through that filter. So until we've got a good self-image, our whole paradigm is affected by it. As soon as we build our self-image and take full responsibility for our life, things in that paradigm are going to start being shaken loose. And it can get uncomfortable, but this is where we've got to remember, you know, what the fear is being caused by. The fear is always caused by our beliefs. A belief that's misaligned with either our subconscious mind, which the subconscious mind isn't right. Remember, there's no actual truth. There's only perspectives. And quite often, the perspective of the subconscious mind is so wrong and so disempowering. And, you know, the work that I do, that I work through with clients and consultancy, is about helping them to see how to reprogram their own subconscious mind. You know, I don't tell them what to think. It's about learning how to think. And most people in the world don't think, you know. And when I heard that, I kind of was a bit, how can they say that? Like, I took it personally. I made myself victim to that statement. And then I thought about it. And I thought, how many times throughout my day do I actually think? Do I consciously think? Most of the time we're running on habit or we're running on program. We do what the masses do and we do what we've always done. We've got habitual thinking and habitual action. And when we can actually stop and think, we have the power then to actually create massive change anywhere in our world that we want to. So paying attention to our thoughts, being aware of how we're feeling and thinking is our power. You know, words create our world. Most people think words are just words. They're a way of communication. How did the Bible start? First there was the Word, and the Word was God. The Word was, I don't know. I've stuffed that up. But, you know, the Word actually is our gift of creation. It truly is. Think of something in your outside world that wasn't a thought before it became a thing. You know, even you were thought about before you became. Our words create. Our words have got a frequency of their own. Words are blueprints. And as soon as feeling is given to those words, the creation is done. Simple as that. Abraham says we've got 17 seconds to change our mind. I'd love to believe that. And I'm really quick off the mark. You know, if I notice I'm thinking something negative or something that's not taking me towards my goal, if I'm feeling negative, I'm quick to shift my thought, shift my focus. We create stories, you know, and these stories come from our conditioning, from our past, from our programming. You know, something happens in our world and we create a story around it. That story then either makes us feel good or bad. We think it's the situation that's made us uncomfortable or the other person that's made us uncomfortable. Actually, it's ourself. It's the stories we make about that other person or about the situation that makes us feel bad. And this comes back to self-image as well. When we really truly know who we are, when we're solid in our own knowing of our creatorship, of our perfection, of our absoluteness, of our being the oneness of everything, then we can look at the outside world, even the uncomfortable situations, and say, wow, what's this showing me? What guidance has it got for me here? And without making ourselves victim to it, we can refocus. And this is why a goal is so powerful. If people don't have goals, they're directionless. They tend to wander and they tend to get caught up in whatever the outside world is presenting. You know, the outside world grabs our attention, and this can be positive or negative, but whatever the outside world grabs our attention, we're not becoming creators because we're allowing the image of what we'd already created in the past, which is exactly what the future is, control who we are now. So even if I look at the beautiful nature, and I do often, and I give gratitude all the time, because gratitude raises me up. And that's awesome. But if I can look at a situation that is really uncomfortable and say, I created that, and give it love and gratitude, then I heal my relationship to that, and I bring balance to it, and I lift myself up into higher frequencies. It's important to remember not to create disempowering stories for yourself. And coming back to goals. Sorry, I got a little bit waylaid there. A goal gives us focus. And for me, you know, I've got a goal and I've shared it with you all. You know, my goal is to be earning or attracting, to manifesting to receiving $100,000 a month. And I've got big plans for this money. So that money is the umbrella for all I want to do. You know, instead of having a goal for this and for that and for that, and, you know, yes, I use all of these things that I want when I do my visioning, but the goal is to earn 100K a month, because that is going to allow me to do all of these other things. So because I've got this passionate goal, because it's always on my mind, because it's always front and center, when something comes along and it's asking for my attention, I can say, is this taking me towards my goal, or is it taking me away from it? And I've got the choice then whether to follow this that's grabbing my attention or to leave it be. And with one goal, that gives us clarity of mind, it gives us singular focus, and it gives us a reason to keep refocusing. And the more we focus on that goal, the more attention we're giving it, the more creation power it's receiving, the quicker it's going to come into being, at the expense of all of these other things that we don't really passionately want in our life. Now, these other things might be our family and things like that, and of course you're going to pay attention to them. You know, this isn't at the expense of everything in your life, but it is at the expense of all those negative stories and the distractions that we allow into our life that are keeping us small and keeping us on the hamster wheel. Our stories create our world. What we see on the inside and give feeling to becomes the outside. Likewise, what we see on the outside and give feeling to becomes more of the outside. So it's about focusing on what we desire constantly and not giving our power away to things that aren't serving us. I know that I am the centre of my world. All of my world, everything, even you, are in my consciousness. I cannot connect with anything that's outside of me. Our world appears to be outside, and I call it outside for simplicity of understanding, but it's actually all going on in my consciousness. And consciousness is in every cell of our body. We think it's in our head. Yes, our brain's in our head. Our brain is nothing more than an electronic switching station. It's the receiver of thought. It's the creator. It gives the electrical impulses. It directs our movement and all of that kind of stuff. It releases chemicals in the body that makes us feel good in reaction to our thought. And if you need proof that everything was created from thought first, notice how thought makes you feel. If you had a thought about you being unlovable, how good does that feel? It doesn't, right? Because it's not true. But that's the power that thought has. You know, we hear news of somebody who, has excelled at something, and we get really excited. We celebrate them. But this could have happened a week ago and we're just finding out now. Why didn't we celebrate them a week ago when it happened? Because we didn't know, because we didn't have thoughts about it. Understanding that everything comes from within us, from our frequency, which is dictated by our thought. That should be enough to help you realize the power of thought. We are so habitual with thinking the same way and doing things the same way that we take our mind for granted. We take thought for granted. If we just for one day at a time said, today, I'm going to be master of my mind. Today, I am only going to think things that empower me, things that take me towards my goal. Today, I'm going to think about my goal. I'm going to be passionate about it. I'm going to build up a beautiful picture that helps me feel good about where I'm going. And you get in that picture and you feel like you're in that picture. What do I mean by feel like I'm in the picture? You can all see me in this room, okay? It feels real to be in this room because I'm in the center of the room. When you're in your vision, it feels real because you're in the center of your vision. You are looking out through your eyes. You are doing whatever you would be doing in your future were you living your dream, were you living your goal. You need to put yourself in the picture of your wish already being fulfilled, your wish already being granted. But you need to be that person because it's the person that you're going to be that is able to live that dream. The person that is in the dream is a different frequency, thinks differently, acts differently to the person who you are right now that is still looking at the dream somewhere in the future, if that makes sense. So you can't hold on to your pettiness, your small thoughts, the thoughts of unlovable, a victim, of not good enough, and live your dream. Everything is vibration, remember. The universe delivers exactly the frequency that you're emanating. Every single time, it doesn't make mistakes. Our goals, the things that are meant for us, don't go to someone else. No one else can take them and use them and steal them. But they're not going to be ours until we're a vibrational match to them. And that means changing ourselves. And this is the true gift of a goal. You know, we think a goal is to get. Nah, we do get because we are creators. And when we do the process, when we follow it to the T, it has to happen because we're creators and these are the laws of the universe and they don't change and they don't make mistakes. But the whole reason for a goal is for us to step into our own expansion, to find pieces of ourself that we've denied. And those pieces of ourself that we've denied are the pieces we think we're not. I'm not powerful. You know, I can't do that. I've never done that. I wish I could. Until we claim these pieces of ourself as ourself, we won't be whole. And we can do all of the spiritual stuff. We can play in lots of dimensions. I know because I used to. I still do. I love playing in the spiritual realm. You know, I'm a channel. It's beautiful to go into channel and to feel the frequencies and to experience, you know, that unseen world. But that unseen world is part of this world. And until we accept all of this world, own it, and step into our power in this world, we're not going to be whole and complete. And we get to choose how quick we do that. And we get to choose the stories that we make along the way. You know, I keep asking for more. It's a habit of mine. I keep saying, come on, I'm ready for more, I'm ready for more. And then I get more, and sometimes I think, oh my God, you know, everything's falling apart, and I shrink back. And I think, oh my God, that was so much. I'm overwhelmed. Well, when I say I'm overwhelmed, that's a story I'm telling myself. What if I said, okay, I can handle this. What first? What next? Where is my focus right in this minute to bring me into alignment with this great expansion I've just stepped into? Like, I'm a all or nothing type of person. You know, I'm all for quantum leaps. And that's why I joined, you know, the Proctor Gallagher Institute. And that's why I became a consultant, because I see so many people, you know, doing it tough outside of me. And of course, that's a reflection for me too. That's for me to look at and say, wow, I see the perfection of that. And if I'm seeing that still in others, there's still parts of it in me. And I can love that, and I can give love to all of these people who are hurting. But I've also got all of this understanding that is changing my world in such huge ways that I would love everybody to be able to grasp. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here with you today. And if you decide you're ready to invest in yourself and you want to go further, reach out. Like, you know, I would love to work with you, hold your hand for 6 months and walk you through the process of learning how to reprogram that subconscious mind to think, to create, to align yourself with the self-image you need to be, to really enjoy your creation in its wholeness. And once you master yourself, you get to play with life as it is. It's an amazing creation. Like, I'm not trying to put it down, but it's like playing with Lego bricks, you know, or painting a picture. You know, we get to create it. It's like playing with plasticine. We get to get our fingers in the clay, as Abraham says, and shape it into something we like. And if it's not something we like, we get to create again. But we can't buy into other people's stories. We can't become one of the masses. And that's what's happened to the majority of people. 3% of all people have 95 or 97% of all the money on earth. And that's no accident. And these people mightn't be conscious of, you know, understanding themselves and the law, but they've got a powerful self-image, and unconsciously they've discovered how to work it. But the thing is, if you're doing it unconsciously, it's not teachable. And this is where most people fail. You know, people who are having huge success, they think, oh my God, I've got to show other people this. You know, tycoons and things like that. And They show them the actions that they've taken. And it's not the actions that have actually created what they've created. Yes, action is necessary, but it's about the beingness behind it. It's about the mindset. It's about the self-image. It's about the energy. And when we're in integrity with ourselves, when we're fully aligned with our soul self, with our source, and with our two minds, that is full alignment. That is full alignment. And while we've got any disruption, any misalignment between the two minds and between our soul, and the subconscious mind is connected to the soul. You know, the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. But until all are in harmony, we aren't in harmony. Our energy isn't in harmony. Have an absolutely beautiful day. And I look forward to connecting again next week. And if you've got a topic you would like addressed, you can either reach out to me privately or you can drop it in the comments below. Have a gorgeous day. Bye for now.